Today we're going to be looking at malware and some other threats. Let's start by looking at what's meant by malware. So the word malware is broken down into malicious software. And don't forget, software are things like applications that are installed on the device itself. Now you can't see malware. Often it's installed in the background so that you don't actually know that it's there, but it's harmful and it can be really damaging to your computer or device. Often they get installed so that they can edit, delete, or steal information. A way this could happen could be something like a Trojan virus, which is where you go to download something and you think it's one thing, but actually it installs malware on your computer and you don't even know that it's there. Another potential threat is unauthorized access. So unauthorized access is when someone's not been given permission to access data, but they access it anyway. There's multiple ways that this can happen. It's not just because somebody's left their laptop or device unattended. So one method could be by intercepting messages. As data is being transmitted, if it's not being encrypted, the data, once it's intercepted, can be read, or it could be copied, which means that they can gain access to your confidential information. Another method of unauthorized access is just by finding out someone's password, which we're going to be talking more about in a moment. As a result of unauthorized access, it could cause loss and cause damage. Now, sometimes people do this on purpose. Sometimes people accidentally cause damage once they've gained access to something by maybe moving an important file or deleting it. Now, there's different ways that people can find out someone's password. It could be through something called a brute force attack. A brute force attack is when a piece of software will try multiple combinations of passwords to try and find the correct password. A common prevention method of this is by having a strong password, which consists of a password having over 12 characters and has uppercase, lowercase characters, special characters, and numbers. Another method is by using social engineering techniques. Social engineering is where you trick someone into giving away their confidential information. A common example is something called phishing. Someone might open a malicious email which contains a link, and when they click on that link, because they've been tricked into clicking on it, it will take them to a very believable website where they might enter their details and it will go back to the attacker. Other methods might include pretext phone calls, which is sometimes referred to as blagging. And this is over the phone where you trick someone into divulging some confidential information by making up a scenario that they might believe, like they've been in an accident or they're owed PPI. A final method we could talk about is shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing is quite literally looking over somebody's shoulder to try and find out their passwords. This doesn't only have to be on a computer, it could also be at, say, a cash machine, at a checkout when people are entering their PIN, or to gain access to a locked room like maybe a staff room at someone's workplace. The best prevention method of this is staff training and awareness. The more people talk about it, the more people know about it and what to look for, the dangers and signs, then they might not be victim to these attacks. Another thing I want to talk about today is something called user access levels. So when you join a network, you will have a different level of user access depending on who you are. So a network manager will have total access to everything so they can manage the network properly. But somebody else using the network might not have access to everything. For example, a student might not have access to program files in case they accidentally move or delete one. So there's 3 different levels of access that I want to talk about. The first one is called read-write access. This would be someone very high up, someone like the network manager, and they can view any files and they can make changes to them. Read-only access is where you can view the files and read them, but you can't make any changes to them. And finally, just having no access. You're not allowed to see them, you're not allowed to do anything to them. Okay, let's look at the questions for this topic. So describe 3 user access levels. Give 2 examples of social engineering. What is meant by malware, and explain the process of a brute force attack. Okay, let's go through the answers. So describe 3 user access levels. So we've got read-write access where you can view the files and make changes to them. We've got read-only access where you can view the files but you can't make changes to them. And there's no access where you can't view the files. Next one, give 2 examples of social engineering. So the ones that we've said were phishing, farming, pretext phone calls or blagging, or shoulder surfing. Next one is what is meant by malware. So if we break it down, it's malicious software designed to edit, delete or steal data. And finally, explain the process of a brute force attack, trying every combination of words and numbers until the password is guessed. And that's it for this one. See you next time.